So let's talk about the 24-month STEM OPT extension. What exactly is the STEM extension? Well, this is a paid employment opportunity for certain F1 students. So not all F1 students can qualify for the 24-month STEM OPT extension. So who can qualify for this extension? Well, you must have earned a degree that falls into a field that's classified as a science, technology, engineering, and math field, or STEM field for short. And this authorization is granted by the same U.S. government agency that grants you the post-completion OPT, which is USCIS. And just like with the post-completion OPT, your time on the 24-month STEM OPT extension isn't going to be on a different visa. In other words, some people make the mistake of saying, I'm on a STEM OPT visa, or they say I'm on an OPT visa. No, the OPT is not its own visa. It's a part of your stay in the US on an F1 status. The great thing about the 24-month STEM OPT extension is that because you're going to be staying in the US longer than someone who just has the one-time 12-month post-completion OPT, you enhance your chances of securing long-term working visas in the US and also building those relationships that can help you stay in the US long-term when you're done with your F1 status. So how do you become eligible for the 24-month STEM OPT extension? Well, one of the requirements is that you must have a clean F1 status while you are on the post-completion OPT. So what does that look like? Well, you must have no previous violations on your immigration record, and you must not break the rule of exceeding 90 days of unemployment. In addition, you must have a clean criminal record. And when it comes to the post-completion OPT requirements that you have to meet, the first is that to apply for the 24-month STEM OPT extension, you must be currently working on the post-completion OPT. And you must apply for this 24-month STEM OPT extension before your post-completion OPT period ends. So on this card is going to be the OPT start date and your OPT end date. And before that end date is reached on the post-completion OPT, if you are eligible for the 24-month STEM OPT extension, you must file an application with USCIS before the end of that 12-month of post-completion OPT. There are some job requirements that you have to satisfy as well to qualify for the 24-month STEM OPT extension. One of which is you must present a job offer that's directly related to your major, so just like was the case with the post-completion OPT. Also, the employer who you're going to be working with must be participating in a program designed by the U.S. government called the U.S. E-Verify program. In addition, when you're applying for the 24-month STEM OPT extension, you would have to provide a document that captures a formal training plan between yourself and your employer, and this document will be given to your international student office, who will use this document as the basis to make a recommendation for you to go ahead and apply to the U.S. government agency called USCIS. So what are some of the limitations of the 24-month STEM OPT? Well, just like with the post-completion OPT, you have restrictions on your capacity to work, where you can be working part-time, defined as 20 hours a week, or you can be working full-time, defined as 40 hours a week, or a combination of part-time and full-time. Also, your cumulative employment period must not exceed 24 months. When it comes to your restrictions on unemployment, things are slightly different on the 24-month STEM OPT extension. The rules that apply here is that on the 24-month STEM OPT extension, your period of unemployment must be less than 150 days. Now, this also includes any periods of unemployment on post-completion OPT. So remember, with the post-completion OPT, the maximum number of days of unemployment was 90 days. And when you get into the 24-month STEM OPT extension, they look at the entire time you've spent on post-completion OPT and the 24-month STEM OPT extension to ensure that your total unemployment time is less than 150 days. A big limitation of the 24-month STEM OPT extension is that it doesn't allow you to be self-employed. So with the case of the post-completion OPT, the really cool thing about that opportunity is that you could start and run a business while being self-employed. That's not allowed with the 24-month STEM OPT extension. You must be working for a U.S. employer who who is in the E-Verify program working for at least 20 hours a week, and you must be getting paid. And not surprising, another limitation is the complex application process caused by dealing with a U.S. government agency, which means that you must plan in advance for the 24-month STEM OPT extension. And of course, there's also significant expenses that you're going to be making if you engage in the 24-month STEM OPT extension.